Hello, my people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the Straightjacket podcast 270. Another milestone on the channel, man. You know what I'm saying? To Straightjacket podcast has come a long way, but we're now on 270. 30 more, and Nuruddin, we are on 300 podcasts. You know what I mean? But Nuruddin, how are you today? Everything all good? You're on mute. You're on mute, Nuruddin. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, good, bro. Good. Still a bit brisk out there, but we're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Spring's around the corner, man. Spring's around the corner.
You know what's mad, yeah? I feel like some days are mild, yeah. Some days are just too, like, they hit you. Like, today I went outside and I was like, yo, the wind's just hitting me, like, you know what I mean, bro? I'm not ready for it. So, yeah, man, listen, man, it is what it is, man. February is closing out, it's closing out, and then we enter March, man. So, yeah, man, all good, all good. Big up to everybody in the building. Tyrell, big up to Killis. Stop getting, that's a good one, just for the kind of mental health as well, man. Just to know that, you know what? You know, it's a bit light outside after 5. It's not too bad. Big up to Pink Panther says, my 2 favorites. Big up to you. Big up Adam. Big up to Lahalia. Big up to you. I don't know if I butchered that one. Mukhtar's in the building. Ducky, Justin, Awais, Sheldon, S. Madison, Jabran. Yo, man, big up the loyals one. Big up the loyalists. Sam.
Samson, long time, man.
Samson. Yeah, man, big up, man. You know what I'm saying? Hope you're doing well in Manchester. So you're looking fresh today. You know what? I've actually just gone for a little nap, you know. I went for a little nap today because I didn't sleep last night, you know. I had a toothache, man. Oh, these toothaches are killing me, Lord, you know. You know what's mad, yeah? I've been to the dentist. I ran about 4 times this month, but he said to me, yeah, if it hurts again, you've got proper, like, rooted problems. So he said you're going to have to splash that cash. So it looks like I'm going to have to splash it and just sort it out once and for all, man. But yeah, man, listen. Hey, no, it's the tooth down there. What do you call down there?
Back one of the back
ones. Bro, you know what it is, yeah? I can sleep through headaches. I can sleep through tummy aches, whatever. But you can never sleep through your teeth hurting. Oh, it is killer, mate. Killer. I don't wish it on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I had some codeine and some ibuprofen last night, so I had a little bit of that. But, oh, listen, it only managed me until this morning. But nah, listen, we're all good. We're all good.
Basically, people, Saeed is high as a kite. Saeed is high as a kite.
You know what I'm saying? Man's on the codeine. Man's on the codeine. You know what I'm saying? Man's moving crazy. I'm moving like Man United yesterday.
Yo,
I'm moving like Man United, mate.
Yo, big up, man. Rasmus on fire. Your defense is terrified.
Rasmus. You know what? Let's start with that. You know what, man?
Let's start with that. I never doubted him. There's videos of me defending this kid. Never doubted him. Man. Step on him. But the boy, he's on fire at this moment in time. You know what? He's on fire. For me, I always knew the attributes were there. But you have to go and prove it. You have to go and do it. So the boy doing it now. My guy is bending them in like he's playing tennis shots over his shoulder, man.
I know.
Nadal forehand, you know what I mean? Like a Federer, you know what I mean? Backhand.
Federer, yeah.
He's volleying the balls in with his shoulder, bro. He volleyed it in balls. So he is.
You know what, man? I'm happy for him. You know, I've seen him be frustrated. I've seen him at Old Trafford, like, you know what, man? He's gone through shouting at Garnacho. Old Trafford, like, you know, you can see, like, visibly, like, yo, he looks like, you know, remember Ten Hag taking him off at Crystal Palace game, certain games where he was subbed off earlier. And you know what? You got to give it to him, man. His resilience at his age, yeah, you got to give it to him that. He's the number 9, only number 9. And that number 9 position, yeah, it's not easy, you know. We've not had a number 9, a proper number 9 since when? Like a proper number 9, out and out number 9, you know, since Van Persie. And he wasn't kind of a classic number 9. He was more of a drifting in midfield. He would go wide, you know what I mean? Like Wayne Rooney when he was in his peak. So it's good to see that, man. And I'm happy for him, man. You know what I mean? This one, someone saying here, Saeed wasn't happy for Hojlund when he was. You know what's mad, yeah? Can I just say something? There's this myth, yeah, that I abandoned Hojlund. All I said, yeah, I want him to arrive in the box a bit quicker. I want him to anticipate. I want him to.
You talked about his timing.
Frustrated.
Yeah.
With Hojlund, but doesn't mean. And I also said, Rasmus Hojlund should not be like you shouldn't just say Rasmus Hojlund is washed or the pressure for me. I said, everybody temper with the expectations. That's all I said. I didn't say he's washed. I didn't say all I said was I watched him last year and I said, we're spending a lot of money on this kid, and I'm not too sure. But now he's scoring goals. He's confident now. His hold up plays better. And I'm happy. This is what football's all about. Like, you want people to prove you wrong. You want people to be like, you know what? Yes, I can do it. And fair play to Rasmus Hojlund. He's doing it. And I couldn't be more happy for him. 6 in 6 now for him. You know what I mean? And that is something that, you know what? Fair play to the lad. You know what I mean? So big up to him, man. And he wasn't getting any service as well. And still isn't probably now. If you look at the 2 goals, Nuruddin, one of them is he had to go around the keeper after a mistake. The second one was literally chest is it in. You know what I mean? He just literally like, and by the way, the chest was actually quite good, The way he did it.
Shoulder chest, yeah.
One of them where, when he just bobbles off his chest, he actually like caressed it in. So, yeah, man, listen, man. You know what I mean? Like,
he's bending them in with his shoulder and chest. He bent it to the bottom corner on the far side. Like, literally bent it to that bottom corner. No, listen, Saeed, listen. It was about 3 straight jackets podcasts ago when we said, and I was like, he's going to come good. And to be fair, you were just saying about his timings. Last week, you asked me, how is the training making any improvements? Yeah, you can see it a bit of training, especially with him holding the ball up. You can see the way that he's been coached. You can see that they've done a bit of work on the training ground, the way he brings it down, and always there's a player right there next to him. That's something that's been worked on the training ground. But I'm happy for him. It's still, though, Saeed, it says more about the team and the coaching and everything else. He's had more assists from opposing players than his own players this season. What does that tell you? In the Premier League, League, Hojlund has had more assists from opposing players than he's had from Manchester United players. And that tells you everything. So he's still feeding off scraps. Imagine if he was getting it. Listen, you look at Haaland, Haaland had about 5-6 glaring chances, against Chelsea. He had about four clear-cut chances, right?
Of course.
Imagine Manchester United were creating 4 clear-cut chances for Rasmus. Imagine that. He'd be more clinical. I was a bit disappointed with him yesterday, to be fair. I thought he should have got his hat-trick. I thought he should have opened his body up.
The finish. What he should have done, though.
But I understand the reason
put it straight
why.
At the keeper.
But I understand the reason why. Because if you looked at the tactics, other than the first 12, 13 minutes, we were hoofing the ball to him and going, fight. I told us that Mortal Kombat. Whether it was Bruno, whether it was Varane, whether it was Maguire,
of course.
We were hoofing the ball up to him and getting him to fight. And you saw how dirty his kit was after the game because he was just fighting. And he wasted a lot of energy doing that. So he's gassing out at games around 70 minutes. That's why we got to take him off, because he's gassing out. But if we actually play through midfield and build up, other than hoofing the ball up to him, he would even be a better player.
By the way, you know what? Talking about hoofing, man. You know what I'm saying to you? Bruno Fernandes. You know what's mad, Today, on
what was he doing in
the social media?
What was he doing in that corner there? What was he doing?
But that's what he does all the time. Anyway, that's what he does all the time.
No, he's the captain. What about in-game management? What happened to that? Taking it, bringing somebody close to you. You know what I mean?
He never does that.
Ball there,
he never does that. He's horrible for that. My thing is, let me just tell you something right now, So on today, Laurie Whitwell, he made an article about Casemiro. And I felt for me, he was trying to scapegoat Casemiro, when I thought other players were in there. So I put Bruno Fernandes lost the ball 17 times, And my point was not only just about possession, but more so the fact that he was. I also said, what about also Bruno Fernandes? Because he wasn't mentioned. And then I had all these Bruno fanboys and everyone else saying, well, what about Odegaard? What about Bruno? What about De Bruyne? They do it all the time as well. So it's players can do that. It's almost as if for me, you're enabling that sort of situation there that you're talking about, with giving the ball away. But also, it's also right for him to do that. I'm like, listen, Bruno Fernandes has always been a hot potato. That's how he plays, hot potato football. We've looked at Bruno Fernandes week in, week out, and we're like, we don't want you to do that. Because again, it's a detriment to the way we play. Every single time when you hoof that ball up, we go under pressure. How many times yesterday, yeah? And when you talk about the 17 times he lost the ball, it's the manner he's losing the ball. Sometimes he's not even creating. Sometimes he's actually just hoofing it. I'm like, what are you doing? The amount of times I was on my watch on yesterday and he hoofed it, and I was like, where are you going, bro? The ball's not going anywhere. And in the 91st minute, I'm thinking, you can keep the ball. You could have given it to Dalot, could have played it to Garnacho, or you could have just kept it on the ball on the other side. But he decided to then have a shot. And I was like, are you serious? What's wrong with you? And then they had a shot. They had a header that went over the bar. And then today, yeah, I just look at it and I'm like, how much more excuses are we going to take from Bruno Fernandes? How many times are we going to say and talk on air about, oh, but who can we get, instead of Bruno Fernandes? You guys underappreciate Bruno Fernandes. I'm saying to you right now, if we sold him tomorrow, I don't think Man United will suffer a great deal. Yeah, we may lose a few goals here and there and a few assists, but ultimately United as a team will actually play better football. Because right now, Bruno Fernandes in that midfield, when you look at Kobe Mino and Casemiro, him doing what he does is a detriment to the way we play. Because he hoofs the ball over the top, then we have to go back into shape, and all of a sudden it's 2v3 or 3v whatever, and Casemiro and Kobe Mino are then exposed. So I just don't buy into this idea of, yeah, but because De Bruyne hoofs it, and because De Bruyne gives the ball away, it's okay for Bruno Fernandes to do that. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not.
So let me break it down.
And that's where it comes down to.
Let me break it down a bit, right? So it's about the context. So when people say to you about De Bruyne and about Odegaard doing it, it's that they don't understand the context. Listen, let me say something, Saeed. If Manchester United had kept the ball in possession, right? We've pushed up, we've gone, squeezed the game. We are playing against a low block team. They're defending for their lives. And we're trying to create, we're trying to open up the door, right? And we've got them hemmed in. Our centre-halves are way inside their half, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Inside their half, we hem them in, and players like Bruno are getting on the ball constantly, try to unlock that door. I would understand that, right? Because in that, the stats used to be, it was Kevin De Bruyne and Messi, right? Messi used to be. So's, what's his name? Sanchez used to play for Arsenal as well. I remember the stats used to come out. He used to give the ball away a lot as well, right? And because those teams would play against teams that play very low block, and those players have to try to unlock that door. If it was that, I'll be on here now arguing on behalf of Bruno. I'll be like, no, I'm sorry, guys. This is what happens. This is what happened. Bruno Fernandes has to do this because he's tried to open it up. He's trying to open the lock. And with that, you always want players who want the ball, who want to try things, and with imagination, that comes. But I'm sorry to all the Bruno lovers. He's not doing that. He's giving the ball away in our own half. 40 yards from our own half, from our own box. And that's a liability. So I've done, on United Real Toby, I've done multiple shows proving him and Rashford and Bruno are not looking after the ball, especially because we play through them. The ball goes through them mainly, right? They're not looking after the ball, and that we're getting transition done quickly because they can't hold the ball. They can't buy free kicks. You see how Kobe Manu protects the ball. You know what have I always said to you? I said the better footballers always know how to put their body. One of my biggest criticism of Jadon Sancho was that for somebody so skillful and a street footballer, he didn't know how to use his body. He didn't know how to put his body in front of the ball, so that people have to literally foul him to get the ball. And when I see Bruno and Rashford, I just see them being super wasteful with the ball, and they're giving the ball away, not in terms of where they're trying to create on the last third. They're giving the ball away in dangerous positions where Manchester United can be transitioned on. And that is where the frustration is. And he's not the guy, even when Ronaldo was there. He's not that goal assist machine anymore. He's not that guy anymore where everything went through him. And for me, I saw Barkley spinning him more than once. Literally spinning him.
But you know what's mad though?
Barkley
Ross
was
Barkley is
spinning
what
him.
we said Bruno Fernandes
And that
is.
Arsenal
Look at Ross
reject,
Barkley though.
the Arsenal
How many times
reject,
did he
and
lose
Ross
the ball
Barkley is
yesterday?
spinning him.
How many times did he lose the ball yesterday? How many times would you say he lost the ball yesterday?
Ross
How?
Barkley.
How many times?
Ross
Because at the
Barkley,
end of the day, he kept it simple. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you told me, yeah, like I said to you, yeah, you got a player who's got less GA than Bruno Fernandes, but at the same time we play better as a team. I'm taking that all day long, man. All day long. Because at the end of the day, when I have that control, and this is the problem with United as a team, yeah, Casemiro, you're not going to get that control with him. He's not the greatest on the ball. It's not that guy who can dictate and da. So you got Kobe Mino on his own. Then you got Bruno Fernandes, who again, like I said to you, is doing that from deep. And the next thing you know, with having to now the transition, it's like a basketball game, Nordin. When you watch Man United now, Nordin, it's like a basketball game. That 30 minutes, I'm telling you now, man, bro, that happens every single time. And you know what? We're kind of fortunate. We've got people at the back here in maybe Varane, who's had a 90% duel. He's won 90% of his duels here, who are cleaning up the mess. And maybe Dalot, who's helped out a little bit in lately in aspects. So we're actually looking at, we're coping them. But another day, I'm like, yo, how much more can you keep doing this where Bruno keeps endlessly giving the ball away? And sometimes for me, it needs to stop. But what happens is everybody's concerned with GA. So if I ask you now, Nuruddin, yeah, you're not, Bruno Fernandes is going to give you endless GA. He's going to score you many goals, but at the same time, going backwards, it could be a cricket score. You don't want it then?
I don't want it. I coined the phrase so you can take this, and everybody can take it. I call it the basketballification of Ten Hag's ball. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the basketballification. It's Manchester United play basketball, and we set up with this 3-1-6. And we are so easily hit on a transition. If Manchester United kept the ball, we might see this 3-1 formation working. But since Martinez is not in the team, what do? We bypass the midfield all by itself, and we hoof the ball to the forwards. Anytime we play against a team that presses high, obviously they went 3 against 3, didn't they, at the back? They pushed up halfway line, Luton, and they play this type of football. And at any time, it's like we're rushed. There was a moment in the game, I think it might have been in the first half, or I think after 2-0. Bruno Fernandes, it might have been in the second half. He found himself on the left-hand side. So somebody hit a ball to him, diag to him. I think it might have been Varane or whatever, or maybe Casemiro or whoever. Somebody hit the ball to him. He finds himself on the left wing, and he's trying to find Garnacho on the other side. Now, he is a right-footed player. The player is not too close. Instead of like chopping the back, controlling it, chopping it, and then sizing up for that bender for his right foot to get Garnacho away, he tries to hit it with his left foot straight away. It's like, what is this rush? What are you doing? Now, I remember the press conference after I watched all of the press conferences. After the game,
you see what he said? You see what he said about after this game here? He goes, we should do better to control the game or whatnot and da. But I'm like, so what are you then instructing the players? What are you talking about? What's your instruction to the players? So I don't understand. It's either for me, because a lot of people know they said to me, it's down to the players why we're doing what we're doing. But hold on a minute. So are you telling these players to not do that? Are they not listening? If they're not listening, then you should take them off the game. Take them off. How about you take them off?
That's my view.
And that goes for anyone, by the way. That goes for anyone. If they're not listening to your instructions, then why do we see that certain players who can keep the ball are on the bench and certain players who can't keep the ball are still on the football pitch? Why is that then? Why? So if people are saying then, okay, cool, right, it's the players, they're letting the manager down. It's not the manager's fault the players get the ball. So then you have the power to stop that and make a statement and say, right, we're not playing this way. Or is it you like this kind of football, you like this chaos football, and it brings a better out of your players? If that's the case, then I have every right to be saying, you know what, it's not good enough. And we shouldn't be playing this sort of football because it isn't sustainable. It isn't, for me, something that United can keep on doing, having a lack of possession, having certain situations where you're not in control of no game, You're not in control of every game.
Now, 100%, I look at it simple, Saeed. I look at it in a simple way that a manager is responsible for the way the footballers behave and play. And if they're not listening to your instructions, for me, you need to embarrass some of these players. You need to bring them off. You need to bring them off. I've said that loads of times. I've argued that because the biggest thing for me is in-game management. And I do not want players on the football pitch who are playing against us week on week, week by. I'm sorry. Give somebody a chance who would actually listen to your instructions. Give somebody a chance who can do what you've asked them to do. And Bruno Fernandes, for me, that's probably one of the worst games he's had for Manchester United. You know what I mean? I think he was unlucky with 2 shots. One shot hit McTominay. The other shot went past the post. And the other one, the Arsenal reject, literally bullied him. Honestly, if you looked at the midfield yesterday, the only midfield player we had was Kobe.
Sammy Lokonga.
But Barkley, Lokonga and Barkley spun aside. If you're going to be all right, they won the midfield battle yesterday. They won the midfield battle. They won the midfield battle yesterday. And the only player that kept up with them, that had any quality, and you can see how he looks way above in terms of how he secures the ball, how he looks after the ball, was Kobe Manu. I think I counted maybe twice he gave the ball away in Kobe Manu. I could be wrong. He gave the ball away from what try to remember, maybe twice. So for me, Bruno, when I try to explain that to other fans, fans who are my generation, innit, they're like, Bruno's good, and I'm like, you're not watching the game. Like I said, I want to take it back. If Bruno Fernandes is giving the ball away, where we've got a team that's camped inside their half and he's tried to unlock the door, I forgive that. But when you're giving the ball away, like simple passes, and all because you're rushing it, you are rushing everything. Taking that one touch. No, there are times, you play the ball, right? And I think about him now, he's in his 30s. Like, he's coming to nearly his 30, in 29, 30.
Yeah, 30, right? 29, 30, This should have been eradicated out of his game. Yeah, you're right.
It's like, I just don't see it. And genuinely, I'm not lying to say, there are times where I think we would look a lot better with Bruno, without Bruno. Because I don't buy into this G8 business. I don't buy into it. I don't buy into this. Because I believe I want the team to be able to generate and create as a team. Not just one player to have this ridiculous GA and all that business. I don't believe in that. I want players who make the team play better. Because of their influence, they make the team play. Odegaard does it. Kevin De Bruyne, everybody races their game. Odegaard does it for Arsenal. McAllister's doing it now, even though he plays a bit of a deeper role for Liverpool. You know what I mean? These players raise the people's game. You know what I mean? They raise it. That's what you need. That makes people better. And I think Bruno, the way to me, he's got no positional discipline. He does this chicken head like runs all over the place. He wants to play this ball all of the time, even though when it's not on. And the way you look at Manchester United, it's like everything has got to be rushed. I was like, no, you can play that extra pass. You can get players in position to recycle it. And that's how Erik ten Hag wants to play. And I'm like, but why? Like, if that's what you want to play,
we built the team around him. We've built the team around him. Like, now Ten Hag next year has to build the team around Rashford and Bruno and then get other players around it. Like, this is what Ten Hag has done now, Nuruddin. And ultimately, it's on him now to then put things... Like, people say to me, like, Mason Mount's going to come back in and he's going to sort everything out as well. And I'm like, where does Mason Mount fit in this team? I'm genuinely curious because I don't think one game where Bruno Fernandes is going to have a game off. Can we, in terms of football, Nuruddin, this guy is a machine in terms of being fit and available. The guy barely gets tired. Like, I genuinely mean that this guy is unbelievable. In terms of fitness, I don't think there's anyone that can beat Bruno Fernandes in world football. Probably, I don't know. Like, is anyone can anyone, maybe, I don't know, who's in football that's just a workaholic? Every game is available. I don't know many in Europe anyway. But like all I'm saying to you is that where does Mason Mount fit in? Because people are saying, oh, he needs a rest and Mason Mount will then play more games. I'm like, hold on a minute. You think Bruno Fernandes is going to get rested? He's never been rested. You know, James Milner maybe. Yeah, that's it. He's never been rested. When has he been rested? Xhaka, maybe Xhaka, but he don't play. He don't play. He don't get rested. So therefore, you're thinking that he's going to get rested. I don't think it's
One
going to
game a
happen.
week, especially now. 1 game a week as well. No.
1 game a week. 1 game a week, man. Bar injuries, I think he's, I don't know. Let me know in the chat, by the way, how many minutes has he had in football? And then we kind of compare it to other players. But he is
I mean,
playing
if you
every
look at it,
single game.
listen, if you look at it, he got injured against Brighton last season in the FA Cup. And then Ten Hag put him on the right wing, where you have to be up and down following the left back. So it's crazy. Listen, at the end of the day, I like Bruno. I like what he's done at Manchester United. I think if you looked at his Manchester United career, he's done more good. But at this moment in time, when the team's struggling, he just is one of the most irritating players. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of hoofball and kick it and run. I'm sick of hoofball. I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it. Because it literally exposes us to where yesterday, from about 13 minutes in the game till maybe the extra 4 minutes that were added on in that half, to about 40 minutes where Manchester United got rinsed right, left, and centre. And I'm not just saying it was all him, but he's a symptom of that. He's large part because we choose to play through him. So it's just super frustrating. I remember when Eric Ten Hag came out against the Villa, he said we needed to be patient. And I'm like, but you've got one of the most impatient footballers. But Saeed, I've gone on YouTube. This is how Matt is preparing for this. I knew we were going to talk about him.
There you go.
I've gone on YouTube, I've gone on YouTube and looked at some Sporting Lisbon games. He can play that football side. He can play
what you mean technical
football.
Where he don't keep the ball away.
Where he don't keep the ball away.
One of the scouting reports from Man United, they said that they do. I think it's Bruno Fernandes. There was a scout report that was made by Man United. It was basically that he gives the ball away a lot. You know, they say decided against it. Man United were quickly dissuaded from pursuing Bruno Fernandes after he emerged. Portugal International gives the ball away far too often.
Yeah, but Saeed, in terms of, because Sporting are a big team, innit? They had the ball a lot, Saeed. They had the ball a lot, right? They had the ball a lot, Sporting Lisbon, because they're a big team in a big club.
But we wouldn't have the ball a lot, though.
But what I'm saying to you, no, but he was giving the ball away a team where the rest of the team was functional, Saeed, where they kept possession ball. So you can afford to have one player that is losing the ball. But at this moment in time, we can't play possession football anyway. Yeah. Because the rest of the team is not set up to play possession. Yesterday in the second half, Manchester United played low block counter-attacking game. And we missed sitters. We missed chance after chance and chance after chance.
Well, let me ask you a question, Nordin. Yeah, what would be your ideal midfield like? Because obviously everybody's talking about midfields for the future and whatnot. Like, what would be your ideal midfield for Man United? And what is it for you that you would like to see? Because I would say Kobe Mino is going to be in there. Can we all agree Kobe Mino is probably going to be in there, even though you don't want to put too much pressure on him? He's going to be starting games now. I feel like now it's one of them where he's made himself picked every single week. I think there'll be a situation next year where every fan will have to say, right, relax now. He's had a lot of games. Maybe, certain situations you have to just ease him in, bring him back in. You know what I mean? Like, remember Rico Lewis? Everyone thought, he's going to be in the team. Now Guardiola, have you seen him? He's now back out of the team or whatnot. Kobe Mino's in there. Let's just talk about August for now. When you look at it, right, what would be your ideal kind of midfield three with that? Does Casemiro still stay in there? If he doesn't, who then comes in and whatnot? What's your idea of a midfield three? You used to play there when you was playing football or whatnot. What is your idea when you look at Man United as well and what we've had in the past as well? What's your ideal kind of scenario?
The balance would be for me to have a number 10 that can keep the ball, a number 8 stroke 10 that can keep the ball to play with Kobe. Yep. I would want Manchester United to be very sufficient in keeping the ball, because the thing about it is that when you come up against the big teams, you can get away with it playing Fulham. You can get away with it even playing sometimes at Villa, because they haven't got lethal strikers. You can get away with it in certain games. But if you want to go and challenge and want to go and fight in the Champions League or go and fight for a league title, you need somebody who's very assured with the football, who is very sufficient, technically sound, and I need a player like that. And obviously, Casemiro will be coming. He's a year older, and I won't want to put all the strain and pressures on him. So for me, I would want to get 2 midfield players I'd want somebody who can play in a pivot, who's a total sitter, but also somebody who can also be defensive, because that's who I would get. So to me, Bruno's not in my. It's not. Maybe from the bench, if he's gonna stay from the bench, he's not in the team that I think Manchester United need to build, because he gives the ball away a lot, and this team can't afford to do that. Cannot afford to do that.
Yeah, this is what it was basically. He's played 6,666 minutes between 15th of December 2022 and 15th of September 2023. That's a lot of games, man. A lot of minutes. So he ranks there, man. You know what I mean, in that kind of category. So yeah, man, it's one of them, man. I just think for me, you get me. There's an over reliance on it, but I don't know. I look at the way we're playing football. It probably segues into the football we're playing, already. You know, there's a lot of people who are saying right now. Yeah, we had this conversation yesterday on the MUFC podcast here, and I was like, I want to see better football, Nuruddin. But now I feel like what I've been told now, what the consensus is, Nuruddin, is that we have to just get results this year, get top 4, and then next year we'll see better football. What do you like? How do you judge it? Would you have wanted to see better football by now, 18 months in? Or are you kind of like, you know what? Just get the results in the season. We're not fully there yet. We haven't got the players available. You know what I mean? And just in general, what's your thoughts on the way we play? Because first half was shocking. Yeah, second half there was a little bit of control in there, even though we still had less possession than Luton Town. But where do you kind of look at in terms of style over results? Is it a case of just get the results for now? Like, should Man United be on that kind of like, yo, we're just getting results for now, get top 4, and then we move from there? Or do you want to see swagger?
No. So I mean, the whole point of Erik ten Hag coming to Manchester United, the whole reason why I wanted Erik ten Hag was because I wanted him because I genuinely thought that I was going to get good football after 6 months. I knew Manchester United were nowhere winning these big trophies. I kept saying it, and I stand by it for a long time. I said that Manchester United were not competing for these big trophies. So what I wanted is better football. So forget 18 months. I wanted it 6 months. And for me, it's still till the end of the season, Erik ten Hag's got to show me what could be the future if he's here for next season. And as far as I'm concerned, it's actually getting worse a week. We're getting the results, and I'm happy about that. Don't get it twisted. But I'm looking at games going, how the F did we win that game? You know what I mean? How the hell did we win that game? So at the end of the day, for me, I always said to you, it was about the football. It weren't about the trophies for me, because I'm one of the spoilt ones. You know what I mean? I've seen Manchester United lift every trophy in my life. And other than, to me, I'd rather build a team to compete for the big trophies than have a mediocre team playing shit football, just winning these little Mickey Mouse trophies. You know what I mean? So for me, I expected it after 6 months. So you ask the guy who's like after 18 months, and I'm not, I don't want somebody saying to me like, oh yeah, next year. No, I don't want that. Next season. No. Show me now. I'm sorry. Show me now. And at the end of the day, I'm a guy in Hume, Saeed. I've got FA Cup coaching batch 1 and 2. And I knew the burnout, the way he was burning them out last season. I knew that was coming. And I knew this season we were going to get it. And I talked about how the injuries could affect us. And again, next season, apparently, we're going to go on another US tour again. So it is what it is.
Yeah, 100%, man. Big up to Kelly says, Gareth Southgate is closely monitoring the performances of Kobe Mino, James Garner, and Harrison Reed for March's international games amid concerns of Calvin Phillips' form. About time Calvin Phillips is out of the team. I always said, man, I don't want to see Kobe Mino being played for England right now, man. Let him just, let him just be, man. You don't want to be playing over there risking injury or just risking anything, man. You know what I mean? Like, as much as Kobe Mino, I want the best for him. Bro, stay at home, man. You know, the Euros, stay at home, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my personal belief anyway. But you know what it is, yeah? I look at it, yeah, and I just look at the way we play football, yeah. And I said, yeah, this is why I feel like for me, a lot of my United fans at the minute are being a bit dishonest with themselves, because they said last season, the targets for me for this season was to play better football, and see a style and a substance with Ten Hag. okay, it was results, but we got results last year. But I said to myself, you know what, this year I want us to play a better football. I want us to see that we're doing well and we're entertaining to watch because that's what you want to do. The first thing you do as a football fan, yeah, you want results and whatnot, but you want to be liking the team that you're seeing, right? And ultimately, right now, Nuruddin, I don't really like a lot of the football we're playing. And ultimately, does that come from certain personnel? Does it come from the way we play? Maybe it's a mixture of both. But right now, as it stands, the football is not great to watch. It's not. The results are there, don't get me wrong, and that's good. But ultimately, we wanted more than that. We wanted a bit more than just playing, getting the results. We wanted to have the style with that. And people say you can't get it right now, but I always say to them, like, hold on a minute. You know what I mean? Was that not the plans this year? So maybe the expectation have changed now for everyone. Maybe it is against, but then again, Mourinho was there and he was playing that sort of football. He was getting results, but then people like you were saying, no, we don't want to see that, Nuruddin. We don't want to see that. We want to see genuine good football.
No.
And him being a coach as well.
100%. To me, that's why I said I got catfished by Ten Hag. I said it. I got massively let down, and I got catfished because I always said with a good coach, we can see improvement on the football pitch. We could see players being coached. We could see patterns. We could see a way of playing, and we didn't. Instead, he burnt the players out, and majority of the fans, to be fair, was with him. And I was like, miss me out with that Europa League bullshit, because it was the flying here and there and everywhere. And then we go, we'll have a pre-season and then fly everywhere here and there in the most congested season in football history, where you had a World Cup in the middle. So I knew what was coming because I've watched enough football to know. I have that knowledge, experience of watching football and understanding what's happened. Because I saw it with Liverpool. Liverpool didn't have the World Cup to do with, but the season before they went for 4 trophies.
Yeah.
And they took every trophy to the last hours, the last day, the last minute. So, and they had a burnout, and hence why even their manager was burnt out. And that's why he made the decision, Klopp. It was the season, not last year, the season before that he made the decision. The season before the World Cup, when he thought, right, I can't do this anymore. Because he burnt himself out and burnt the players out. Because it takes a lot for you to be going for 4 trophies. That's why I was like, I'm not with this Europa League and League Cup. You know what I mean? I'm not with this. Concentrate on the league and the FA Cup, but more importantly, have time to coach the players, have time on the training ground. But he come out and said it and stated it, Ten Hag, and said, no, it's about the football pitch, it's not about what happens in training. And I'm just like, wow, I've been catfished, honestly. Eric Ten Hag, out of all the managers I've had at Manchester United, for me personally, has been the biggest letdown. The biggest letdown has been Eric Ten Hag. No word of a lie. He's let me down the most because I never wanted Jose. I never wanted Moyes. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the reaction from Jose. And I will always love Ole forever as a player. Always love Ole as a player. And at that time, it's like Ole got us out of jail and took us to flipping, took us to a fancy restaurant, man, and was dining us every week. 4-0, 4 goals, 5 goals. He brought happiness to the club again after what Jose did to the place, stung the place out. So for me, I wanted Ten Hag more than I wanted Pochettino. And I specifically was telling people, listen, Ten Hag football, because to me, the Champions League do not lie. What he did in the Champions League doesn't lie. Because I saw his team bob teams off the park, Saeed. Left, right, centre, bob them. And now what I think is, no, it was more about the coaching of those players throughout their youth team in Ajax. That's why those players can play those triangles.
Absolutely.
Because it's the way they've been used to. And what he has shown me, that. And then I see Ange, and Ange goes in there. No, with a matter of time, they're bobbing people off the park and came to embarrass us at Old Trafford with 30% possession. He bobbed us off the park. Yeah, some United fans were all like, oh, look at your Ange. Listen, I always said, for me, in football, you win, lose, or draw, right? If my team plays well, I'll come here and defend the team and the manager because you played well. You were unlucky. So at the end of the day, and Gary O'Neill, it's phenomenal what he's doing with his Wolves team. He's getting a Wolves out. amazing out of it. Everybody was just like, oh, come on, get ya. Did you see the tweets? People were just going crazy. Oh, Antball, look what this is and that. I rather win games. I'm not asked about playing good football. I'm not bothered. And I'm like, no, I am. That's the difference. We all view football differently. You have your opinion.
Yeah, we all do. Absolutely.
Like, just because Ant plays good football, does that mean the fans who are pointing at Ant is playing good football that he can't lose a game? Like, it's unbelievable. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Like, no. I want Manchester United this season have lost loads of games and we were terrible. We were terrible. If Manchester United lost a game and the game that I go back to, I thought Manchester United played well throughout that game was Arsenal. In that game, I think.
Yeah, Arsenal game. Yeah, Arsenal game. Yeah.
Listen, VAR robbed us of a goal because the way they drew the lines. Everybody watching that game could see, even Arsenal fans have admitted it to me and said, yeah, he was onside. Garnacho was onside. Garnacho was onside. And that goal goes in, it changed the game. So at the end of the day, after that game, I was like, that's our best game of the season for a long time. I said that was our best game since last January. Remember when we played? That was like since before January, since we played Barcelona and these teams. That was Manchester United the best game. So at the end of the day, it's how you view football. There are people who are just, we don't care if you play as long as you win. That's not me. And that's not the way I've been brought up at Manchester United. That's not the way that I've been enticed to love football. I don't mean Manchester United having 60% possession. No, I'm not about that. I'm not a possession merchant. I'm not. But a possession, to me, tells me how much control you have out of the game. But it's about what you do with the possession as well. Possession is good, but it's about how you open the team up. And that's what matters to me. So at the end of the day, Erik ten Hag is catfish me, and it's the biggest letdown. The one that I regret, and I keep saying it, I have to remind people, is Van Gaal, because he actually coached players, and that's why I don't get Erik ten Hag's mind thinking. Because I saw players like Fellaini bobbing Liverpool off the park at Anfield. Do you know what I mean? I saw players like Fellaini playing one-touch football with Herrera and these guys. So it just doesn't make sense to me, and I just think unless there's something that's happened to him, I don't know what's happened to him.
He's reverted back to type, and ultimately he's survival mode football, and you know what I mean. We have to. This is how we're going to play to the end of the season. So when it doesn't go the way we all want it to go, and we I've come in here and said, listen, you know, the better football will be better for the long term of Man United, rather than getting short term results and then building it like that and paper over the cracks. Let's see what they do. So we'll find out. We'll find out, man. Let's move on to the Dan Ashworth story. Apparently, United are going to be getting Dan Ashworth anytime soon, only if they pay the compensation. CEO of Newcastle today has commenced a period of gardening leave. He said, our exciting journey doesn't stop, and the process to recruit a new director will begin immediately. Ashworth has agreed to join Man United. Talks on compensation soon. So, Nuruddin, you know what it is with me? I'm just like, yo, pay the money, man. We can't be messing around where this guy is on gardening leave until February 2025, man. Just pay the damn money, man. Listen, you have to negotiate, of course, but if Newcastle are insisting on the 20 million, bro, pay the 20 million, man. It is what it is, man. You get me? Like, I'm not pocket watching. If you want the best in class, you pay for the best in class. Ineos have come in. They've set all the good things right. Now pay the money. I don't care what anybody says. Pay the money, man. Pay the money. Because at the end of the day, I'm not here watching John Murtough and Erik ten Hag go again for a summer. This summer is so key, Nuruddin. You cannot allow Dan Ashworth to be on gardening leave because you didn't want to pay 20 million, but then overpay for Mount, overpay for this, overpay for that. Get it done. Get it done, mate. Simple.
Well, it depends, innit, like how they think. For me, if you're going for somebody, then if you want to make the changes that you want to make, you get him in now, mate, at whatever cost. And because you're backing him. You're backing him. To me, it's an endorsement of the person you're backing. So for me, it's just, it makes full sense. Like you go on do it. Like you go and do it. For me, it makes total sense. You go and do what you have to do to get the person. and sort out the package with him. Because what's the point in waiting for him? By that time you waited, players might not come on the market, the players that you wanted. They might not come on the market again. So it is what it is. It is what it is for me.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be talking about that. Please, people, come and join us at
definitely.
United Real Therapy. We're going to be talking about how we're going to judge that structure, Saeed. How we're going to judge it. We're going to be asking, how do we judge the new structure that comes into Manchester United? How we judge it? And we're going to also we're going to touch on Kobe as well, because I'm like Kobe. Stay away from England, man. Go and take your holiday. He's still young. He's 18, and we're going to discuss that. But in terms of that, Ashworth, listen, you got your guy.
Yeah.
He's made it easier for you now to negotiate. He's basically come out and quit. He said he's resigned, right? Manchester United did not approach Newcastle. He's resigned, right? And
he's resigned, man.
Yeah, he's resigned.
So, massive, man.
Yeah. So what he's done is literally gave Manchester United upper hand in negotiations. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If he was still there, like saying, listen, no, then Manchester United would have to negotiate hard to get him out of Newcastle. But he's actually handed Manchester United a hand in the negotiation by quitting. They put him on gardening leave. And then now pay the package. Because specifically, you have to look at his contract. You have to look at his contract. Do people understand what gardening leave means, Side? So I want to break it down for them. I want to explain to them.
What gardening leave means. Tell him.
So gardening leave basically means, right, is that if Saeed works for, basically Saeed, at the moment in time, I'm on Saeed TV, right? Saeed TV, we know Saeed do the Straightjacket podcast, right? Every Monday, right? If somebody came, and I've got to sign the contract with Saeed, every Monday we do the Straightjacket podcast. Somebody from another channel wanted to take me onto their channel, right? What they would have to do is to see my contract. My contract that I signed with Saeed would be in place, and it's basically for you to protecting the person who works for you, because especially with agents and everything else, no, not with agents, with directors of football or other people who work in the football, and managers, specifically with managers as well, is what you're protecting is the contacts and the things that they've been working. So the secrets of Newcastle, the players they've been scouting, all of that, Newcastle would want to keep that. So they're putting him on gardening leave because he's resigned, because he signed the contract with them. And the contract that Dan Ashworth signed could be that if I decide to leave, that it could be maybe 1 year gardening leave. Then Manchester United we're going to have to buy that of Newcastle right now. That's what it means. And you know what? It is one of the weirdest things in football. It happens in other sports as well, Saeed. Is that truly how forcible is it? Is there anybody monitoring, right? What Dan Ashworth is doing? He's supposed to just go to the pub. Some people take a holiday. You know what I mean? They go to go and get in a sunny place. You know what I mean? Just get away from it all. But there is nobody, a body or a organization that when Newcastle will go, right, Dan Ashworth's on gardening leave, there's an organization monitoring all the electronics of Dan Ashworth. It's the same thing with Omar Barada. Omar Barada, it was 6 months, but nobody was monitoring Omar Barada. And everybody is understood. It's one of the most unsaid rules, but it's understood that you're in contact, you're doing stuff behind the scenes, but you're not in official documents, because then Newcastle can bring him to court and maybe bring the Manchester United to court. As long as your name's not appearing on official documents, then you are still doing anything. You're still, that's what you're doing. So that's what it means. It's meaning protecting the knowledge that he has and making sure that you're not taking that
took him off the database. They took him off the database. Yeah, that's why they said, get off the computer. The computer's taken off you. Everything's taken off you. So you're not going to find out what we're doing. But you know what, though? It just shows you as well. A big up to Karen, took the kids for the donation. He says, don't think Ashworth would have told Newcastle he wanted to leave unless he was told by United as to how this would work. They'll pay, but won't overpay. I mean, the problem is, though, does anybody care how much? Someone said about FFP, but I'm sorry, man. This FFP, man, it's really, really like, I don't see it affecting our summer transfer window when you actually look at what he then could do for us. The reason why we're in FFP is because we're overspending on certain transfers. So the hill is Man United bring him in and we don't overspend and we fall below the FFP and whatever it is and all that nonsense, mate. So you need to bring him in because then Murto and Ten Hag are going to overspend this summer. If you give these guys a rein, mate, these guys are going to go and spend whoever they want to spend, mate. John Mill cannot be allowed to be in reign over new transfers, over new recruitment, because that means then Dan Ashworth can have no say. Garden leaves means no say at all. You know what I'm saying to you? Brailsford is not a footballing man. You know, he's more cycling, performance, and whatnot. Claude Blanc here, he maybe have to, but again, he's not on the football. Right now, still John Myrtle. And John Myrtle, I'm sorry, but he needs to go, man. He needs to be gone. I don't know why we're mentioning him staying. So that's another one that I'm like, yo, get out of the door. But yeah, it's bigger. I've seen that one as well. It's funny how Newcastle are fuming that Dan Ashworth is on garden leave when they did the same to Brighton when they took him. It's funny, isn't it? It's a funny old world how the world revolves, isn't it? But Man United, like I said to you, man, people don't really realize, but Man United is still a big club, man. People that tell you that Man United are not a big club, man. I've always maintained that. It's just like people have always said, you know what? Oh, but Man United are this and that. No, man. United are still big club, man. The opportunities, the wages. Forget everything. Okay, we don't care about wage and all that, but the wages, the status, the role. You are working for Manchester United. Like it still holds weight. So in that regards, you know, he's always going to leave. And Newcastle's project hasn't really gone the way I think most fans would have thought it would gone by now. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's down to certain other situations or whatever. But he's probably thought, you know what? I'm limited
they don't
to what
generate
I can
enough.
do here.
Sorry, they don't,
they don't generate enough. I know they don't.
They don't generate enough to go and splash the cash. And FFP now with bitter teeth in it, then teams are getting charged right, left, and centre. The thing about, for me, what Dan Ashworth is or what Newcastle are doing is that Newcastle are basically trying to put their foot down and say, listen, you're not getting this guy. So, but what the amount of money Manchester United pay for Dan Ashworth depends on the contract Dan Ashworth signed, right? So that's what it will depend on. You know, I've been in professional jobs, so you've been in professional. If you're leaving, you give 3 months notice. Do you know what I mean? So it's about the notice.
Facts.
It's the notice that you give. But when it comes to that high corporate states, that's what you get put on garden leave. Loads of managers would be put on garden leave. Remember, Van Gaal was on garden leave for a while till Manchester United paid him off his contract. Some people negotiate to get back in a job. So it's like, okay, I don't want to be on garden leave. You know what I mean? I'll take the package and then so I can go and have a job. So at the end of the day, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's inside the contract. And we'll know in the next couple of days. But I'm not getting too gassed. The reason why he might want to come to Manchester United as well is because he's got a relationship with Dodgy Dave. He's got a relationship with Dodgy Dave.
Has he?
And yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Look it up.
Okay.
Look it up. Yeah. He's got a relationship. Okay. He's got a relationship with Dodgy Dave, and it's also kind of like, imagine you brought that giant back to the top. Do you know what I mean? You would always go down in history as being one of the guys responsible for bringing that giant out of the doldrums into challenging for big trophies again. And that is something, if you're ambitious, you know what I mean? You want to go for that. But the other things that, to be fair, he never stays any club too long. Any job that is held.
I know.
He never stays too long anyway.
Brighton, he wasn't there for long.
FA, FA, West Brom. You know what I mean? He was never there too long. So he might be one of those people that thinks, you know what? You know what? There's certain people, like I've got friends who never really stay in a job for more than 2 years because they get bored. Yeah. They need a new challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he might be one of those people. But in those 2 years, if he comes in and does a job for Manchester United, then I'll be happy with that because nothing is guaranteed out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big up JJ. I said big up Said Nurul Ten Hag forever. Nah, listen, man. Hey, listen. We just got we got to you, man. Love for the.
I wish Ten Hag forever. Listen. I wish Ten Hag forever. If Ten Hag starts coaching and properly laying down the foundations of the style of football that he wants to play, I would be that. And I always said that you need to give a manager a chance, 3 years at least, to see what they can do. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't see, it's 18 months, nearly 19 months, and I don't see any evidence of the style of football. I've seen it in patches here and there, but I've not seen it in consistent way. I haven't. And I see that a team that's battling relegation for half an hour or 35 minutes, absolutely bobbing us off that park. It was unbelievable. And actually, an Arsenal reject doing that to us. An Arsenal reject and a guy who was basically, is because we thought his career was done. Barkley definitely needs to go to the Euros. And even aside, I'm not lying to you, I was looking at Barkley as going, if they go down, I'll get Barkley, you know. I'm not lying to you.
Bro.
I swear to God, if they go down. Remember, he was linked with Manchester United, remember? Years and years ago, when he was at Everton, he was linked with Manchester United. Honestly, I'm not lying to you. Now, the guy's playing with such an incredible maturity. This is the best I've ever seen of Barkley. Best I've seen him. And I spoke to a Luton fan. I spoke to a Luton fan weeks ago, and he said to me, it's not that he's only doing it against the big boys, the games that are televised. He's doing it against every team.
Yeah, of course. He's on it, man. He's proper, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's there, man, showing what he can do. You know what I mean? Like I said, listen, he's got, you know what it is with me? Intelligent footballers, man. That's what I want to see, man. Intelligent footballers. People that know what they're doing. They're clever. They're mature in their performances. And that's what I want to see. You know what I mean? If you can give me that week in, week out, I'll take that all day long. You know what I'm saying to you? But again, you know, will Man United prioritize that this season? I'm not so sure, man. You know, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So we'll see. We'll see. I really like how we are bullies again, and that's how it's supposed to be in a club at Man United. Kudos to Sir Jim and his gang. Big up to Dennis, says, Eric Ten Hag lost me when he said he could have not coached Ajax style. Isn't that what we brought him to Man United? This is what it is, man. This is what it is. But now, what I've noticed is that everyone's moved the goalposts and said, well, he hasn't got that player back. He hasn't got this player back. And when he gets everyone back, that's when you can see the Ten Hag way. And I'm like, Nuruddin, yo, you know what's mad about that argument here? Is that you're never always going to have your players available.
Never.
Not everyone.
No, not everyone. Never.
Not everyone, never. Man. Never. But you still don't compromise your way of playing. You can do it in certain big games, Nuruddin. I don't mind him a certain away days. You're like, you know what, cool. You know, you could do it then, but you don't compromise it for the whole season. I'm sorry, man. You don't. You don't, personally, for me. That's just the way I kind of look at it anyway.
100% fact for me. No manager has have everybody firing at 100%, like firing. No, not every manager has every player fit. I'm sorry, they don't.
Yep. They don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We've got Fulham next. Fulham we should beat. And then we've got the Manchester Derby. It's almost like, you know, we just get the confidence up for the Manchester Derby, because that's going to be a totally different game, man. You know what I mean? And it should be a good game. If both teams are in form, we should see a two-sided game. I'm not saying it's going to be an even game, but Man United should come something to the table. They shouldn't just sit back and, you know what I mean, and let Man City dictate to it. Hopefully, like I said to you, they come in and they show something, and then they do what they can do. So it is what 100%. It is, man. Yeah. Someone saying there, what do you guys thought on Rashford press video going around? You know what it is here? I don't really I've said it already. I don't want to concentrate on Rashford's game anymore. I know what Rashford is now. So for me personally, I've said it from day one, pressing and all of that. Yeah, I know it. I see it every game. Yeah. Yesterday, I thought first half he was terrible. Second half, much better. Much better. I thought it was very, very good second half.
As a team as well. As a team, we were a lot better. We were a lot better.
You know what? I'm not doing now. I'm not watching a 26-year-old pressing. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. Big up to Team, it's been a while, bro. Hope you're well. He says, we cannot control matches with Rashford, Bruno, and Garnacho. They aren't possession-based footballers. You know what it is, but that's the thing, though. We're not possession-based. We're not even even the counter-attacks are hit and miss. You know what I mean, Lordin? Yeah. Even the counter-attacks are hit and miss.
I mean, the Villa game proved that we couldn't even get the counterattacks right. To be fair, against Luton, because they were playing 3 against 3 and literally coming halfway line. We had to do it. You know what I mean? We had to, but we missed the chances, didn't we? We missed sitters, and we can't afford to do that. We can't. We have to be clinical. I thought Bruno was wasteful. Yeah. I thought Garnacho. That's probably one of the most wasteful games I've seen him. But he's a youngster. He's 19 years old. So for me, I'm always going to give him you know what I mean, not to be too harsh on him. But I think he can be coached to become a possession-based player. and do it at the right areas of the pitch, not lose the ball in his own half like Bruno and Rashford do. I don't want that. I don't want him to pick up those habits.
Facts,
yeah,
facts,
big up Yusuf, man.
Yeah, big up to everyone here, man. Guys, please like the video, man. It helps the channel massively. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The algorithm, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hit and miss. So sometimes people get notifications, but the likes help it. Straightjacket community, we love you lot. So make sure you lot smash the like button. Dennis says, the team and talking truth, Bruno is not a 10. Well,
No,
I don't know what he is then. You know what I mean? So who knows? Who knows, man? But
listen,
guys,
people, we're gonna jump on.
Stream.
Yeah, we're gonna jump on the United Real Therapy. We're gonna be talking about how we as United fans judge the new structure. How should we judge it? What do we judge it by? And then also we're gonna be talking about Kobe Menu. For me, I say Kobe Menu needs to get that stay out of the England talking business, England Euros, none of that. I want him to go and have a holiday. He's done amazingly well. I want him to go and chill, relax, because he's still 18 years old, and I don't want all that pressure and the press. And you know what is England is a circus. I don't want that circus for him. So come and join us and come and get involved. Big up, people.
Yeah, big up everyone. Like I said, I don't know how many likes we're on, so we're gonna judge that you guys like the video, man, and support the channel. So yeah, man, big up to everyone here. Join us in United Real Therapy, and we're out.